Hi everyone, welcome to the Ever Seeking Empath. I'm a reader who uses tarot, oracle, and charms, and today's reading is your June predictions reading. So we're going to try to figure out what's happening for you in June. Before we get started, I do want to remind everybody that this is a general reading, so it might not resonate for everyone, so just take the messages that you feel are meant for you and disregard the rest. Also, if you enjoy this video, please hit that like button and subscribe to my channel if you have not already done so, because it really does help the channel out, and then you get to see when I've posted new content right away. So it works out for everybody. So we have 3 piles here today to kind of figure out what's happening for you in June. We are using the Ice Cream Oracle for your pile markers here, which is an awesome deck. I will link it in the description box below. But pile 1 is the Tiger Ice Cream. So it says strength, dignity, and majesty. And I believe that tiger ice cream is like a citrus ice cream with like a licorice stripe in it, but I'm not positive. So if anyone has ever had it or knows what it is, please leave me a comment below because I would be very interested in knowing how it is. Pile 2 is key lime pie ice cream, which says good omens, luck, and blessings. And then pile 3 is cherry vanilla ice cream, which says love, passion, relationships. So just let your intuition guide you to a pile. And we are also using the charms today. I did get some new charms in here. We just got these dice that are like, they've got the planets and the astrological signs, and there's another one in here. Oh, there we go. With numbers on it, and that represents the houses. So I don't know a ton of astrology, but whenever these come out, I figure I will kind of look up the symbols if I don't know what they are, and I'll let you know. But yeah, so hopefully that gave you a little bit of time to pick a pile. I know I was kind of covering up so you couldn't see, but just a reminder once again, pile 1 is tiger ice cream, pile 2 is key lime pie ice cream, and pile 3 is cherry vanilla. So pick your pile, and we are going to start with pile number 1, tiger ice cream. Hi group 1, so if you chose tiger ice cream, which says strength, dignity, and majesty, then this is your message. So let's figure out where we can prop this here. Alright, so we are going to start with your tarot cards, and then your oracle cards, and then your charms at the end, so stay tuned for that. So let's figure out what is going to happen for you in June. So for your tarot, you have the Hermit, wisdom, the High Priestess, empowerment, and the Emperor, maturity. So that's 3 majors. So that's super interesting. I feel like there's definitely a lot of internal work going on because, especially because you have the Hermit and the High Priestess, which are very internally focused. They're very spiritual cards as well. The Hermit has to do with a lot of wisdom that you gain over having gone through obstacles, having gone through life experience, and then being able to reflect on that. And then the High Priestess has to do with intuition and really, as you can see here, empowering yourself to use whatever tools at your disposal to gain some sort of inner knowledge, even if you're not seeing it reflected in the outside world. So I feel like a lot of you might be maybe waiting for something to happen, or you're wondering if you can really get your life under control. That's kind of the vibe that I'm getting, because you have the Emperor, which says maturity. And the Emperor is a card of control and authority and structure, and he is definitely an authority figure. He's in control of his life. He's very organized. He's not known to be very emotional. He's just much more kind of direct and to the point, and he's like the father of the majors. So in this case, I feel like it's just very much you're getting your life under control, but you do have that feminine energy balancing out with the High Priestess as well. But I want to see what your oracle cards have to say, because right now this is just a lot of internal focus, but I kind of want to know what all is going on in your life in June. So for your Whispers of Love card, you have Love Who You Are. You are divine, delightful, and deserving of the wonderful things life has to offer, number 8. So that just has to do with really, again, internal focus, really loving who you are, not really worrying about other relationships. I mean, you can have other relationships, obviously, but this is very much a month of growing in your own internal understanding of yourself. And I feel like it's coming into a time of greater acceptance of yourself as well, just who you are, how you're living your life. Maybe you've been very hard on yourself in the past, and now you're just realizing that everything you've gone through has brought you to now, to where you needed to be and to who you needed to be. You have cow spirit, the miracles are endless, number 15. So, yeah, that's a really good sign. I mean, the miracles are endless. That's a really positive phrase. I feel like there's probably a lot of unexpected stuff coming in for you in June, because the High Priestess is also the card of secrets. So I feel like you're not really meant to know everything that's coming for you. I think that's why it's very focused on your internal world right now, is it's very much like focus on you, focus on really getting your kind of internal, like understanding your internal world, like balanced and comfortable. Just be comfortable with yourself, and then everything around you is going to fall into place in a very unexpected way. I think the universe is just kind of going to move around you in a really great way. I think it's going to surprise you how things are going to turn out, but you are going to be gifted with some great things coming up. You have breaking barriers. I'm expanding beyond limitations into joy and freedom. So, yeah, I feel like there's definitely a breakthrough coming in, because you even see the light kind of coming through here. So I feel like that's maybe even some clarity coming in for you, because the High Priestess is kind of murky. She's comfortable with not knowing, but she kind of has that internal gut feeling. But she is the keeper of secrets as well. So I do feel like there are some things that you're not meant to know quite yet, but things are going to turn out wonderfully. And before we move on, I do want to just point out too, the Emperor with strength, dignity, and majesty is really awesome. So that's very much that tiger energy kind of coming up again. I wasn't sure if the ice cream was going to kind of match with your cards, but it looks like it will be. And then finally, you have a couple of cards here. So you have Bridget, number 25, Psychic Flames, 333, so that might be a number you're seeing a lot, Sacred Milk, Druid Magic. So this is a very like fiery card, and I'm really kind of drawn to this Psychic Flames here. So I do feel like there's this kind of unseen power that's going to come out of you as well, that you're not really expecting that's going to come out. So there's like a lot of kind of fiery energy here, which is interesting because the Emperor is matches up with Aries, and that's a fire sign. It's very grounded fire though. You know, it's like what this tiger card says, strength, dignity, and majesty. You know, it's not like impulsive racing forward. It's just this very grounded, but like flames coming up around you, like very much what I'm seeing in this card here. It's interesting. And then your final card is Pyrokinesis, number 27. Debate, rage, revolution, attention. So you might be having some kind of fiery, like, conflicts with people and confrontations with people this month. But with revolution too, I feel like big change is coming out of this. I'm feeling like that kind of phoenix rising from the ashes energy is here. But I feel like it really is like this fire kind of coming out of you. Like you are starting the fire to be able to kind of come into your own and to be able to show your true self to the world. So maybe that's what this barrier breaking is maybe this barrier is just between you, like your inner self, and how the outside world sees you, and you're maybe opening up so that the world can see you in all your glory. And we've also got this kind of like yin and yang image here, so I feel like maybe you're uniting like the light and dark sides of yourself, which would make sense with what we were talking about, like the kind of masculine, feminine, that internal world and like external world as well. But I want to see what your charms have to say. So we are going to kind of pull you some charms, use the heart to figure out what's in the heart of the situation. So yeah, group 1, what's going to happen for you in June? Okay, there's one like stuck to my finger here as well, and one kind of came flying out of the bowl. All right, so the one that came flying out was this angel here. So yeah, you have some divine protection around you. I feel like this is definitely, like I'm kind of feeling like this is your psychic self as well. Like this is your higher self or that high priestess energy. You know, the part of you that kind of knows something is coming, that's anticipating, but you don't really know what it is, but just trust in that. And then I'm not sure what happened to the one that was stuck to my finger. I'm going to have to rewatch this and see which one it was. And I might put a little note in here afterwards. And I just got the heart out of there since nothing landed in it. So I feel like, I feel like this is not meant for you to know exactly what's going to happen. This is very much this energy, this feeling, but you're not meant to know what events are coming necessarily. But yeah, you have quite a few letters over here. So you have C, Z, B, and J, and P, and D. Let's get all those kind of in one place. So those initials might be kind of coming up for you. Those might be names or places. Some significant words might kind of pop out for you. Zodiac signs, you have Gemini here, which says intelligent on the back. And then you also have Sagittarius energy. So you might know people with those zodiac signs, but Gemini is very intelligent, as it says. They're the twins, they're the communicator, and that represents duality as well. So it really is kind of reflecting this card again. So that's really cool that you're getting that coming out again. And then Sagittarius, again, is a fire sign. So that's very fiery energy. It's freedom, it's adventure, wanting to move forward. So I feel like that's a really great energy to kind of come into. So I feel like you do have this like very internal focused kind of psychic energy. You have this very grounded fire that's just kind of burning and burning and burning as you like burst forward. And then you have this kind of sense of duality here as well, of two sides of yourself that are coming together or that are being merged or that you are showing to the world after a long time. You have will and sport for your words. So sports might be something that you are wanting to do right now to get that excess energy out. That might be a good thing to kind of channel your energy into. It's like physical activity. And then will. So that could mean that something you're hoping for will happen, but I'm feeling like it's representing willpower more than anything, because there's a lot of willpower in this pile. You also have the crown here, so that's more willpower, confidence, taking back sovereignty over your own life. And then of course we have the emperor, who is, kind of that symbolic leader here as well. You have the star, so wishes coming true, but I feel like it's that kind of star shining as well. Like you're going to be getting some attention coming up very soon. I feel like people are not going to be able to take their eyes off of you. You're really going to stand out for some reason, whether that's in career or just your personal life or romantic life, friend circles. Maybe you're going to be extra chatty and hilarious and people are just going to have a hard time not wanting to be around you. It's that very magnetic energy here. You have the axe here, so a lot of the time that just makes me think of like mining, like if you're in a mine, like a pickaxe. I hope this is making sense. I'm gesturing behind the camera, like people know what I'm doing, but just like kind of chipping away at something, hoping to find something like rich or beautiful or valuable. And I feel like maybe that's what you've been doing for yourself for a long time, is you finally kind of hit the jackpot. You found what you were looking for, or you've been able to kind of like chip away at pieces of yourself that don't work, and you've been revealing your true self. And that kind of goes well with this geometric unicorn, because this often represents like building your unique, truest, most authentic self, like from the ground up, just taking pieces that work for you, that resonate with you, and collecting them and making something new out of it, making the version of you that you want to be. And that's kind of similar to what I was saying here, is I feel like rather than chipping away at like the pieces that don't work for you anymore, getting that away and like getting down to the core of it, this is taking pieces that you've found, building them into something new. But I just feel like there is this kind of true self being revealed here, that you're finding ways to really become more and more authentic and more just like true to who you feel you really are. You have this cat here, so that represents independence for me. So I do feel like you are maybe breaking away from other people's perspectives, that you don't feel like you have to be who other people want you to be. You don't have to fit in. You don't have to mimic somebody. You can just be yourself. Maybe this is that time that you've needed on your own in that Hermit card as well, that you've needed that kind of independence away from people to really figure out what you want. This might have been a slow process because you have the turtle here. Slow and steady wins the race. I feel like just going with the flow has kind of helped too, that maybe you've been somebody like in the Emperor card who wants to control a lot of things, and just going with the flow has kind of led you to where you feel most in control at the end. You have the tail fin here, so that represents like strength and power, like how like whales and dolphins can use their tail fin to really propel them forward very quickly and very powerfully. And I feel like that's what you've been doing with the work that you've been doing over the past however long you've been working on this. And then finally you have the flip-flop. So I feel like this is saying you've been working so hard, don't forget to take a break. That hermit energy and high priestess energy is definitely taking, like, it's saying take some time to be on your own as well. But I feel like this flip-flop also is just saying have some fun. You know, it's summer where I am, maybe you can get outside, especially if it's safe to be out and about where you are. That might be a good thing to do, to get together with people if it's safe. Just get away from your everyday routine and just like break away from that, kind of not think about all the things you've been working so hard on. Just focus on something that sounds fun to do instead. So group one, this is a very interesting pile. I'm sorry that I couldn't get more distinct events about what's going on in June for you. But I do feel like that's because, I mean, it might be different for everybody as well, but I think you're not really meant to know exactly what's coming. But this is just that overall energy of like, you know, how you're going to feel and what might emerge. And I feel like a lot of you are already kind of like, yes, that's where I'm headed. I'm sick of doing things someone else's way and it's time for me to be myself. So I hope that this resonates with you. If it does, I would love to hear about it. So please comment below. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button and subscribe to my channel if you have not already done so. I hope you have an awesome rest of your day and that June is awesome for you, because it seems like it will be. And I hope to see you next time. Thanks for watching. Hi group 2. So if you chose the key lime pie ice cream that says good omens, luck, and blessings, then this is your message. So we are going to start with your tarot and then your oracle cards and then do your charms at the end, so stay tuned for that. So let's figure out what's happening for you in June. So for your tarot, you have the King of Swords, structure, Ten of Swords, completion, Ten of Wands, responsibility, and Judgment, forgiveness. So let me get that to kind of prop up there. So there's definitely this energy of completion here because you have the two tens. You have Ten of Swords, which says completion here, and then you have Ten of Wands, which says responsibility. So I feel like either you or somebody else is feeling responsible for the end of a situation that maybe didn't end up how you wanted it to. Maybe somebody kind of went cold on you, felt like the right thing to do was maybe not something that meant they were following their heart. It was very logical, very cold, very factual, and they're taking responsibility for it because now there's this energy of needing forgiveness, and it could be forgiveness of the self as well. So if this resonates in a way that you have to forgive yourself for something you did, just kind of combine these two people I'm talking about into one, because I feel like that is a scenario for some of you. But I'm just kind of getting this energy of having two people, because we have the king over here, and then we have the person kind of looking in the lake in the judgment card. So I'm just kind of feeling like it's two people, but I kind of want to move on, see what the oracle cards have to say as well. But yeah, I definitely feel like there's a situation that's like ended already because we're at the tens, and now forgiveness is needed. So let's see what your oracle cards have to say. For your Whispers of Love card, you have new love. Embrace an opportunity for love in your work prospects or for spiritual growth. Number 26. So I mean, like, there's a shooting star here as well, and that's like kind of the first thing I noticed, is this like trying to catch the shooting star. So I feel like maybe there are like other prospects coming in, but there's just like one that you've got your eye set on, something that just really resonates with you that you feel like maybe is meant for you. And like new love doesn't always mean a new person. It can be like a new passion. It can be new people in your life, like just a new connection with somebody. It can be a reconnection with somebody. Like that's kind of what I'm feeling with this forgiveness, is I feel like there's probably a couple scenarios here, but I'm feeling like Either you are forgiving somebody and letting them go for good, and you're meeting some new people because you've now made room for them, or you are forgiving somebody from the past and you're choosing to start fresh with them. You have armadillo spirit, set healthy boundaries, number 3. So that fits with what I was saying with this like completion and taking responsibility and structure. Like I do feel like maybe you were the person who cut someone off because the way that they were treating you was not fair, or like it just didn't work or something. And I feel like you've set boundaries because there is this like kind of coldness here. There's this energy of needing to set boundaries, or even like setting boundaries with yourself, like what you'll take and what you won't. So that might mean letting this past person go and just freeing yourself up for the future here. Because I feel like you might have felt kind of closed off, and I think you're really trying not to totally close yourself off. Like I don't feel like this is a total like shutting down, because there is forgiveness, which is very watery here. So I feel like you are opening up to something new again as well. It's just, it may not be with this past person or past situation that just didn't serve you well. You have savoring pleasure. I fully embrace bliss in my life. So yeah, I feel like you're just kind of done with whatever doesn't work for you anymore. Like you're sick of whatever was going on. Like if this didn't work for you, sorry, I'm going to move these down a little bit. So if, yeah, whatever didn't work for you, you're over it. You're going to focus on like bliss and pleasure and happiness and just whatever feels right to you. You're probably embracing self-care, just things that feel good to you in the moment. Maybe you're getting a little more spontaneous because we do have that King of Swords, which is structure. So maybe you're very structured with certain things, and then you're allowing yourself the way to really just let your guard down and like take care of yourself and like just do things just because it feels good in the moment. Because with forgiveness, with this like wateriness, maybe you are forgiving yourself for something, and so you're choosing to treat yourself somehow, just like focusing on, like again, like I just get this energy of self-care because of the bubble bath and the candles and the music and the wine. I just feel like there's probably this energy of just really like a lot of self-love here. So I do feel like a lot of you might have cut somebody else off, but otherwise, if this is like a renewal with somebody or you're choosing to forgive them, I think you're redirecting the love that you were like pouring into somebody else your way. So I think that's really what's going on. And then finally you have mugwort dreams, rhythm, higher self, reality, rest, number 13. And number 13 is the death card in tarot, which is like transformation and change. So I do feel like there's this energy of change here as well, like the ending of one thing and moving into a new phase. But rest is really standing out to me, and rhythm as well, actually, because of this savoring pleasure card. Like rest, self-care, I think is very important. But also with rhythm, I feel like maybe like listening to your body's rhythm, and also music might be really coming out for you because we've got the music notes here. So I feel like just really paying attention to like the ebb and flow of your life, of your body, of your soul, just whatever feels right. Like maybe you've been living very structured and very rigid, and that has not worked for you. And it's just burdened you. It's put too great a burden on you. So you're ending that and you're moving into this kind of flowier state. So this might be like a renewed love for yourself, that you're setting boundaries with even just yourself. It doesn't even have to mean how other people are treating you, but setting boundaries with yourself on how you're treating yourself. That you're not going to allow yourself to neglect yourself anymore. Sorry, I keep saying yourself, but I don't really know what else to say. But I do feel like you're not allowing yourself to just neglect your body or neglect your needs. I feel like a lot of people, especially if you're taking care of others or you're focused on your career or you just have a lot going on, it's easy to just neglect the things you need. And I think you have to really emphasize that those are needs. They're not just like luxuries. They're important, and you need to be able to maintain that. You're not going to like wait until your car is completely out of fuel to refill, because then you might be in the middle of nowhere. It'll take you a lot longer to get back. There's a lot of stuff that makes that really impractical. So you have to keep it maintained. You have to, once you start getting a little low, you have to fill up. So make sure you're doing the same with your mind and body as well. So we are going to get your charms now for some more info. And we are using the heart to figure out kind of what's in the heart of the situation. So group 2, what's happening for you in June. I just felt like one more wanted to come out, but there's one kind of stuck to my finger here, so I think that's what I was getting. Okay, that's two stuck to my finger, actually. Okay. So you did get something in the heart. You got Scorpio energy, which was very much what I was feeling, because that's that, like, it's very watery. Scorpios are very watery, and it's also just there's a depth to it that's not necessarily as present with the other water signs. That Scorpio just gets really deep, just very, like, emotional, very, like, dark at times. But then the nice thing is that insights come up with that as well. So I feel like maybe that's where you've been with that Judgment card, is finding these insights that you have to forgive somebody else or yourself in this situation. And then you have the squirrel here as well. So that talks about investments paying off. So usually investments that you've been kind of making over a long period of time. So maybe this is something you've been really trying to work on, or like, you know, you've just been putting a lot of energy into a situation and now it's just like, oh, it's so heavy, and you have to take a step back to take care of yourself or to set boundaries, and you have to kind of get a little more balance in your life. So that's really, I feel like, what the focus is that, like, depth, but then, like, I feel like there's, again, like, this is kind of an energy that was in group 1 as well, but an internal, external balance. So really taking care of your inner self, your soul, like whatever your emotional needs are, but also balancing that with whatever you've created for yourself in the external world. So career or relationships or like just whatever you've been working on. I do feel like there's a lot of stuff that you have been working on, and it's just ended up in a place that's really heavy for you right now, and you just have to put an end to whatever's not feeling good for you anymore. So you got one of my new dice out here too, the Zodiac dice. So this, I believe, is Taurus. So that's very earthy energy, hardworking, but very stubborn. So I feel like a lot of you are really stubborn, and you are going to keep pushing yourself until you collapse. So that's kind of going back to what I was saying about the refueling. Do not keep pushing yourself until you collapse. Make sure you're refueling periodically, doing all the maintenance. Like, again, I'm going to compare you to a car, but you have to change the oil. You have to make sure that the tire pressure is right. You know, there are a lot of things that you have to make sure are right and are balanced to be able to maintain the integrity and the health of your car. So apply that to yourself as well. Make sure that you are maintaining your body, your mind, your soul, your emotional self, all of that. So for your words, you have crazy and cool. So this is super dorky, but literally I'm picturing like there are some crazy cool things coming to you in June. There's a lot of like vagueness with this reading today. Usually I get some more specifics, but I do feel like you're not really meant to know the specifics of the events coming. It's just, again, like a big feeling coming in. Oh my gosh, I just realized this. You got Scorpio a second time. So Scorpio energy is huge for this pile. And this one has a word on the back and it says passionate. So I do feel like whatever you're working on is something that you're passionate about or have been passionate about. Maybe that passion has burnt out. Or like the relationship passion has burnt out. But I do feel like you have to redirect some of that passion into yourself as well. That's kind of what I was saying with the love and care you're sending elsewhere. Send it back to yourself. But that's just crazy that you've got two Scorpios here. So that Scorpio energy, that depth, that emotional depth in particular, very watery, that's huge right now. You have the number 14 here, so take note of June 14th. That might be a significant date for you, especially this month. You have always here, so I wonder, yeah, like for a lot of you, there might be some love going on. Yeah, because you've got another love heart here with the arrow through it. So I do feel like there's somebody maybe that you need to forgive or that you'll always have love for, but you need to walk away from. But there's definitely this energy of like never stopping loving them. I don't know if that was grammatically correct, but that's what I'm saying. But definitely this energy of always loving somebody, always kind of having them in your heart, but not necessarily burning yourself up to fix their problems or their life or to be there, you know, be at their beck and call, basically. You need to take care of yourself first. You have the shell here, so more kind of emotional energy, very watery energy, I believe that this, I'm not sure if it's this exact kind of shell, but I think of Aphrodite when I see this. So again, like love goddess, so more love energy. But this also makes me think of like opening up. So I feel like some of you might keep kind of a shell up, that kind of cold King of Swords energy like we had in the cards. But you're very watery inside, but you keep that hard shell up because it's just easier than letting people into the depths, because you can go deep. And it's just easier to kind of keep people at a distance, be a little aloof, because I think maybe you feel like you freak people out if you really get deep with them, get passionate. Maybe just you feel very misunderstood, like a lot of people don't really get where you're coming from a lot of the time. And I do feel like you've had a lot of bad luck coming in, or you feel like you've had bad luck coming in because you had the horseshoe pointing down. But I do feel like your luck's going to change, because it's interesting that the horseshoe's pointing down, but you have key lime pie, which is good omens, luck, and blessings, and you have the crazy cool. So I do feel like good things are coming. So try not to get too discouraged, because the squirrel says your investments are paying off. So things are going to change for you. You know, it's not going to stay bad forever. And you have the sun as well, which is very positive, you know, positive change, positive omens, happiness, success, you know, things are going to come around. And you have the circle here, which right now I'm kind of thinking of the wheel energy, like the wheel of fortune. So, you know, things always changing. You know, if you're at the bottom, it keeps moving and you end up back at the top again. And then when you're at the top, things get bad. But it's like you just keep going through this cycle. And that could relate to whatever this relationship is too, that you just can't break free from it, that you just feel like you're in this endless loop. But this did land when I kind of shook it off my hand. It landed on the pack mule, which is like that 10 of wands, you know, carrying too much, being overburdened, taking on too much responsibility that it's not really meant for you. That like it's just too much. You have to pick and choose what you can carry, because otherwise you're not going to get anywhere if you're carrying too much. You have the little drink here, so I feel like take a break. Again, self-care, maybe do something fun, treat yourself a little bit. Treat yourself to some ice cream, because we do have the ice cream oracle cards that I'm using as the like markers for each pile. And then you have the butterfly. Oh, okay, so I'm just getting this and I'm getting chills now that I'm thinking about this too, which is kind of extra confirmation. But you have two Scorpios here, and I was like, man, I feel like we need a third Scorpio like card, or like I'm surprised this didn't turn to Scorpio. But you have the butterfly, which is transformation, which is like the death card in tarot, and the death card in tarot is linked up with Scorpio. So I think that's a really cool synchronicity. So yeah, things are changing. You know, you've been in this, like, when you were in your caterpillar state, like things were maybe like feeling happy, but they were very simple. Then you went into your cocoon and you've been feeling kind of like things couldn't get any worse. You have no idea what's happening. You're in the dark. You're not sure what's coming. But then you turn into the butterfly and everything's beautiful and you can fly, and just a lot of really great unexpected things are coming. And that kind of energy of a lot of great unexpected things are coming is another kind of theme of pile one. So I wonder if every pile is going to get something like this, that maybe June's going to be a big month for everybody where some really great things happen. So if you were wanting to watch pile one as well, maybe you want to go back and watch that if you have not done so already. But group two, I hope that this resonates. I would love to hear if it does, so please leave me a comment below. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button and subscribe to my channel if you've not already done so. I hope you have an awesome rest of your day, and I hope June is awesome for you, because it does seem like some really great things are going to happen, and I hope to see you next time. Thanks for watching. Hi group three. So if you chose the cherry vanilla ice cream, which says love, passion, relationships, then this is your message. So we are going to start with your tarot and oracle cards and then do your charms at the end, so stay tuned for that. So let's figure out what's going to happen for you in June. So for your tarot, you have Charity, which says generosity, and this is one of the extra like major cards that this particular deck gives you, because there's no 22 in the normal majors. You have King of Cups, understanding, and Four of Cups, awareness. So this is very different from the first two piles. This is a very watery energy here, because even generosity is giving me very watery like feelings, even though generosity can often be about like financial generosity. I'm also getting like emotional generosity, because the King of Cups is very emotional, compassionate, understanding, as it says. So I feel like either you or somebody else is going to be very understanding and open this month, but I feel like this is like either you or someone else who is going to provide this understanding nature is not going to be noticed, because Four of Cups is awareness. So usually in the Four of Cups, it depicts a person who is being offered a cup from above, like there's like some kind of divine intervention going on, handing this cup to them, but all they can see are the three cups that are either turned over or that are sitting there and don't have anything that they want. So it's this energy of like not paying attention, just being very apathetic and bored with life, but not noticing an opportunity that's right there in front of you. So I feel like maybe someone's even being patient because they're offering something to somebody and this person's not noticing, and they're just trying to be patient and generous and knowing, hey, they've got other stuff going on in their life. It's nothing personal. I'll just wait until they're ready. You know, there's this energy of just being very kind and generous. And it's interesting because this does kind of link up with the love in your cherry vanilla ice cream card as well. That this is very relationship oriented. It's very much like an interpersonal thing, because generosity requires multiple people or sources. Understanding usually does as well, and awareness does as well. I mean, sometimes awareness can just be awareness of ourselves, but it usually kind of requires two parts, you know, like our mental awareness of something outside of our mind, or even our mental awareness of our mind, but it's like a different aspect of it, if that makes sense. I hope that's making sense. But I want to see what your oracle cards have to say to kind of get a little more specifics here, because I will say the first two piles did not have a lot of detail on like events coming up for you in June. It was very much like this, where it's this energy, it's, you know, kind of a feeling. It's very like what emotions are coming up, or kind of what themes are coming up. It's not so much like, hey, this is going to happen or whatever, but let's see what your oracle cards have to say. So you have receive with love and appreciation. Gracious acceptance is a way to show love. Number 34. So, I feel like there's two people in this scenario, at least, but it could go either way. So I'm going to talk as if you are the one receiving. So you might have a difficult time receiving love or gifts or effort from other people, because you might be used to being the giver or the provider or the structured one. So I think you are going to have to kind of let down your guard a little bit and receive from people. Allow other people to give to you, because that's a gift in and of itself. Because we have generosity. Somebody is wanting to be generous with you. I think you might have to be understanding as well that this other person or like other situation is wanting to give to you, and you might have to recognize that that's their way of showing love. And sometimes it feels like getting shut down if somebody is trying to show you love and then you like say that you don't want it, you know, even if it's more like you saying, hey, I don't need that, it kind of puts a wall up between you two. So in order to stay open, you might have to be more understanding and be aware that they are trying to give you something. I'm just picturing that like Four of Cups, like traditional image where this cup is being handed to them and the person's just ignoring it. So that's very much the energy that I feel like is coming. You know, just open up and allow something to be given to you. Because I feel like whoever this King of Cups is has something that they want to give, but they're just kind of hanging back, waiting until you're ready to receive it. You have Dear Spirit, bring a gentle touch, number 18. So yeah, like that's definitely kind of what's going on. That King of Cups is a very gentle card. There's a lot of gentleness in this pile. It is very much linking up with the ice cream, like the other piles did as well. But yeah, I feel like bringing a gentle touch is going to help. Like I feel like aggression and like pushing for someone to accept you or being cold and not accepting help, those are not going to help the situation. I think being gentle like both ways is really important, because I feel like it's going to make sure that everybody feels seen and heard and understood. You have Healing the Past. I step into my future with strength and clarity. So yeah, I feel like for a lot of you, whoever the kind of closed off one is, I think you're used to not like getting back what you give, or you just feel like you learned early on that it was better to just kind of keep people at a distance. And right now I feel like you need to just like heal that. That sounds, I know it's easier said than done, but I do feel like you need to put a focus on your healing. I feel like a lot of you have worked on your healing for a while, but now like the next step is opening up a little bit, seeing what happens if you let people in, if you get a little bit vulnerable. Because I feel like a lot of you are afraid to plant roots because you feel like that's going to mean that you get neglected or something's going to go wrong. And so you're just kind of keeping these very shallow roots, but then you're not allowing yourself to experience the depth of anything because you can only grow as tall as your roots kind of grow into the ground. Like you don't have any stability if you try to grow tall without rooting yourself. So I feel like some of you do need to allow some people in, allow your kind of more vulnerable, darker side to show through a little bit more. You have mirror magic, number 32. Lunar light, past lives, spectrum, self-care. So there's an energy of self-care in all of these. Being generous with yourself. There's this, the mirror here is kind of making me think of like just reflecting on yourself, recognizing like where did this come from? Past lives to me usually means like past like actual life, not just in your like current life's past, but in this scenario I feel like it might be healing your current life's past, like healing from childhood, healing from past relationships. But I feel like also this healing the past could relate to past life karma as well. If you can't think of anything that would have caused this, or you've just always been this way and it's like there's no distinct reason for it or whatever. But I do feel like this kind of like past life thing is really coming up, and maybe that's why you need to kind of dive into the depths a little bit and just allow exploration to occur. And self-care is going to help this process be a little bit more comfortable for you, because I feel like a lot of the time that kind of process can be very like disconcerting and uncomfortable, and you know, you acknowledge things that you had forgotten about or that just don't seem important or that you try not to think about. And I feel like it's important to nourish yourself as well and to be generous with yourself. And I think part of this self-care is maybe allowing other people to give to you. And then finally, you have Burning Man, number 26. Collective power, supreme prayer, 3 of Cups, celebration. So yeah, collective is really standing out. And like 3 of Cups and celebration, that's all giving me like connecting vibes. Like make sure that you allow other people in. You can't really become as powerful as you want to be without allowing other people in, you know, into your inner world. Allow people to connect with you, allow people to give to you, allow yourself to receive. You know, there's definitely this energy of needing to receive, and if you are the person giving to someone else who's feeling closed off, again, be gentle with it. You know, maybe sometimes switch it to be a little bit lighter. You don't always have to go deep, but then you can kind of go deep again at some point in the future. But it's just kind of maintaining that balance. But I feel like there is this energy of like passion here. I mean, this is definitely, Burning Man to me is a very passionate card. Like, you know, this says love, passion, relationships. But I feel like in order to get to that passion, and like in order for that passion to feel safe, you have to do all this kind of gentle, watery stuff, the inner exploration, the gentle kind of giving, receiving, just understanding. I think that that has to come first so that the healing can occur before you jump into a situation where you could easily get burned. You know, if you just impulsively move in too fast, I think that that's going to kind of make things more difficult. So just take this time to heal and just be gentle. Try not to rush the process. So we are going to get your charms now to see if we can get any more detail, because these are all very like energetic readings today and not like scenarios so much, but this one's a little bit more specific. But we still don't really have an understanding of what this situation is about. I'm sure it's different for everyone, but let's see if we can get any more specifics. So group 3, what's happening for you in June? Okay, that was a lot at once. Usually I only get like a sprinkling at a time when I'm mixing them, but all right. So in the heart, we have a few here. Okay. So first we've got this little like bunny who's playing tennis. So I feel like that's just saying have fun, keep things light. Even if you're getting competitive or like you're trying to do like a back and forth, you might have to keep it fun and light. And I feel like with the love, passion, relationships card that you have, I think this is like giving me like the beginning stages of a relationship vibes. So even if you've been in something established with somebody, or if this is a new friendship, whatever, keep things light and fun, like it is on a first date, you know, when you're just enjoying yourself, trying to kind of feel things out and see what happens, but you're not putting pressure on it. I feel like that's going to be really important. And then we've got this like very spacey, like outer space vibe, because we have the rocket and we have Saturn here. So this is making me feel like something's getting launched. So you're definitely at the beginning. And I think you're going to reach like outer limits. Like you never thought that you could get this far is kind of the energy that I'm getting since these both landed in the heart. So maybe it is that you have to kind of keep things light and understanding and just kind of very sweet and gentle for the time being, and then that's actually going to get you farther than you ever anticipated. That you weren't going to take things that way, you were going to be a little more aggressive with it, but I think that that's going to be a little bit more effective if you keep things light and gentle for now, and you'll be surprised as to the depth that you can get from that kind of a situation. So for your letter, I think you only have an N. I'm going to see if there's any other ones around, but I'm going to flip some of these for now while we're looking. You have faith, from, and sing here. So I feel like keeping the faith in yourself, faith in the situation, just kind of trusting that things will work out for the best. That's going to be important right now. From, so again, that's that kind of giving and receiving energy. Receiving something from somebody, maybe someone wants to sing to you, that's possible, but I feel like music just in general has some healing properties, you know, it can help. I think, you know, it raises your vibration, you know, it makes you feel better, it connects, you connect with the lyrics or the melody or whatever, but I feel like it really does help with healing, so I think that might be important for a lot of you this month. The letter N might just stand out for some of you for an initial. I'm feeling like N is making me think no as well, so maybe a lot of you are very used to saying no in situations, even if maybe you want to say yes to something, but you're just scared, or you're keeping people at a distance, because with the spacey stuff, I feel like that's definitely distance, like kind of cold, aloof energy, so I feel like you might be kind of focused on giving like a very perfect, proper facade to the world, like that's what you show to people, is this very proper, dignified, put together version of yourself, and you haven't let anybody in to see the true you in a long time. You have this cat that represents independence, so I think you have been very independent for a while, and maybe you're ready to let somebody in, like you want somebody there, but you just don't want to have to go through the process of letting someone in, of seeing if somebody will accept you, and taking those baby steps to let them see the real you. But know that you do have the freedom to change that. You know, you don't have to kind of keep yourself in this cage or keep yourself bound anymore, because I feel like a lot of you have really shut out the world to kind of protect yourself, and that's fine, and that's, you know, a normal coping mechanism, but it does mean that you don't really make those deep connections with people, because if you can't get vulnerable, it's really hard to get a connection with somebody going. You have the thimble here, so again, talking about protecting yourself when you don't necessarily need to. Maybe try to be a little more optimistic, like it says have faith, but Charlie Brown can often be very cynical, but here he's got like a little smile on his face, so that just says to me, you know, be a little bit positive, be a little optimistic, even if you're not quite sure. Just see what happens, you know, just say yes to something. You have the elephant here, so that just makes me think you're like remembering negative things from the past, and that's what's keeping you held back. Yeah, like I just like those past lives cards that we got. I feel like a lot of you are protecting yourself because either something happened in the past, or like something happened to another person you know in the past, and so you're holding yourself back from being with them or talking to them or connecting deeper with them because you don't want to hurt them like they were hurt before. You know, this can go any which way, but just these are all these interacting energies here. You have this half of the best friend's heart, so I feel like this could have been like a broken friendship for some of you, but I do feel like it's just this separation energy, like you're looking for like your other half, or like your soul family, or whatever, or you feel like you were always the one who was left out, like everybody else had a best friend and you didn't. Like there's that kind of energy here where it's like you feel like you got the short end of things, when everybody else had someone or was able to partake in this opportunity or whatever. I feel like you've been feeling like you didn't get that opportunity, even though a lot of other people did. But I do think there's a surprise in store for you, because you have the bow here, which makes me think of like things getting wrapped up with a bow, like, a big present sitting there, with a giant bow on it, and you're not really sure what it is, but it's that excitement and anticipation before it comes. And I feel like this energy is already on its way, because we've got the golfer who's already like swung his shot. So I feel like that to me says like, the universe is like, watch out, it's on its way, like it's already on its way. So just kind of hang in there and see like it's coming. You have the moon here. So again, like I feel like very watery energy, very emotional. You might not be able to see things very clearly because you don't really know what's going on. You don't have a lot of clarity, but just hang in there, have faith, because things are changing. Even though you can't see it, that's for a reason. Things are going to clear up soon. I do feel like a lot of you in the past maybe have kind of bent over backwards for other people, and now you're trying to stop that, but maybe you went the opposite way. You went to another extreme where you shut everyone out. So this is kind of that balancing act of be generous, give and receive, allow other people to help you as well. We have this made with love heart. So yeah, I feel like maybe somebody even made something for you or like wrote a song. That was one kind of option I was thinking with the sing charm there. But I do feel like that made with love, sometimes it doesn't really matter what someone's trying to give you. It's just them trying to show their love for you, whether it's in a gift form or whether it's them just saying something nice to you or saying, hey, let's just hang out, or, like doing something nice for you, like taking out the trash or like, cleaning off your car when it snows, that kind of like gesture. I just feel like somebody is trying to show their love to you, or you're doing that for someone else and it's not being reciprocated or acknowledged, but that doesn't mean the other person isn't interested or isn't appreciative. It's just that protective instinct, the walls come down and that way you can't get hurt. So just kind of keep that in mind. You have the little flower here, which makes me think of like beauty, and I feel like I don't usually get this with this flower, but I'm thinking of the movie Mulan, where the dad says like the flower that blooms in adversity is the most rare and beautiful of all. So that quote might be kind of coming to mind for a lot of you, or that might resonate with you. That's not usually what I even get with this charm, but that's just what I thought of right now, so I feel like that's important to say. You have the jug, so that makes me think of like you can't pour from an empty cup, so allow your cup to be refilled, whether that's you stopping to refill your cup or allowing other people to refill your cup for you, giving back when they're overflowing with love and with, stability and with just energy. I feel like allow people to give their energy to you as a gesture of love. And then finally, you have the soccer ball being kicked. So again, energy of that, like energy coming towards you, like that's already happening. It's already in place. This person's coming towards you, or this gesture is coming towards you, but this is already like in play. So there's going to be a generous, loving gesture this month. So try not to miss it just because you're so closed off or whatever. And then if it's the reverse, that you are the one giving the gesture, try not to take it personally if somebody like doesn't notice. Maybe try to find another way in, just gently and lovingly, but just try to be understanding with whatever your scenario is. So group 3, this was very interesting and very different from the other 2 piles, but I hope that this resonated. I would love to hear if it does, so please leave me a comment below. And if you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button and subscribe to my channel if you have not already done so. I hope you have an awesome rest of your day. I hope that you have a wonderful June, because it really does seem like things are going to be working out pretty well for a lot of people this month, and I hope to see you next time. Thanks for watching.